What's up? Hey, what's good? What's poppin'? I am Miss Berry. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you guys for sliding through and coming to kick it with me. As you guys can see from the title, I'm getting into something a little different, but still, you know, all the same. 47 years of Joe Biden's racist comments. Y'all, let me stop putting so much emphasis on everything. So I'm pretty interested to see this because this is our president. So I want to know what. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So let's press the play button.
Are you going to apologize? Like Cory Booker
apologize for what?
Cory Booker's called for it.
Cory should apologize. He knows better. There's not a racist bone in my body. I've been involved in civil rights my whole career.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or...
Is it me or anybody that's using headphones? Can y'all only hear on y'all left side?
Dunkin' Donuts, unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future.
I know Joe. We know Joe. But most importantly, Joe knows us.
That's right.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
What?
Even call centers, which rushed overseas in the hundreds of thousands. How many times you get the call? I'd like to talk to you about your credit card. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented.
I mean, as far as the fake Indian accent, you know how many people try to impersonate different accents? Well, shoot, I was just doing it a second ago. So, I mean, I don't really see anything racist in that in particular. You know, I guess it depends on the way that you go about it, but it's a lot of people that impersonate.
Kids. They're going to put you all back in chains.
We need, in my opinion,
What?
we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. The Democratic Party is diverse, and it should be reflected as so in our leadership.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Why does this happen?
I'm not going to do this.
Well,
What I'm not going to do this because Chuck, I'm not going to do this because let me just be really clear. Vice President Biden absolutely has a respect level for all people around him, for voters across this country, young people, older voters, voters of color, Black people, Latino voters, Indigenous, Asian American, Pacific Islander. So I'm not going to even traffic in any hypothetical conversation about if he is sensitive enough. In my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I think Joe Biden might be suffering from that same white entitlement and privilege and ego, where he's just that old school white male who feels like, hey, man, they need me, I don't need them, or I got them already.
Joe Biden is under fire this evening on comments he made about working alongside segregationist senators in the past.
Biden recalling his early Senate career, bringing up two segregationist senators, Herman Talmadge and James Eastland, who called African Americans an inferior race. I was in a caucus with James O. Eastland, Biden said. He never called me boy, he always called me son. At least there was some civility. We got things done. We didn't agree on much of anything. We got things done.
I think the two-party system, although my Democratic colleagues don't like me saying this, I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the black in the South. Other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind a little bit.
Just that old school white male.
hold on, let's pause it just in case, you know. In order for your child with curly black hair, brown eyes, and dark skin to be able to learn anything, he needs to sit next to my blonde hair, blue-eyed son. What? Says who? What? 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 Like, no. 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 I totally disagree. Do you know how many smart African American people it is that don't have to sit next to? Do you know how many smart blonde hair, blue eyed, like everybody is smart? Like, oh my goodness. I mean, I know it's some people who don't have as much intelligence as you know, would want them to have, or should I say common sense? Because it's a lot that like a lot of common sense. But anyway, that was just what?
Y'all back in chains.
30 seconds or less. What kind of a chance would a northeastern liberal like Joe Biden stand in the South if you were running in Democratic primaries against Southerners like Mark Warner and John Edwards?
Better than anybody else. And you don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state.
It's that old school white male.
Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Not the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
My son is Attorney General a year in Iraq, came back, and that's one of the things that he finds was most in need. When he was over there in Iraq for a year, people would come to him and talk about what was happening to them at home in terms of foreclosures, in terms of bad loans that were being, I mean, these Shylocks who took advantage of these women and men.
Back from Mumbai to go meet with President Xi in China. I stopped in Singapore to meet with a guy named Lee Kuan Yew, who most foreign policy experts around the world say is the wisest man in the Orient.
There's not a racist bone in my body.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Is that something? Is there anything else? Probably nothing else. So we're gonna end that video right there like that. That was pretty interesting to see, because I've watched little stuff with Joe, you know, but not enough to actually see some of the things that you guys see. Because again, if you guys are not familiar, I'm on this journey of expanding my mind. I'm trying to take a deep dive into politics, into, you know, it's just exactly what is going on in the world. Like, I want to form my own real and honest opinion, which real and honest, but you know what I mean. So that was just pretty interesting to see. I haven't, you know, had the opportunity to see too much of Joe's speeches, rallies, interviews, or anything like that. So that's probably in the direction I'm heading as well. It's so much to cover. I know for a fact I'm not going to cover it all in just one day, 1 week, 1 month. It's going to be definitely a journey, but I'm all up for it because it's most definitely worth it. And I have a son that I have to raise. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction video just as much as I enjoy reacting to it. I'm a little baffled like by some of the comments. I know, like, you know, the videos are kind of edited, so it kind of makes me want to go and pull up just certain things, especially when he had the, what is that, a rally or a speech or whatever that was, when he said I should just put you all back in shackles, or you all should go back in shackles, or what, however he said it. Like, I need to see that interview or that speech, rally, whatever. I need to see that so I could better understand what he said and why he said this and all together, except that just, I don't want to just see that one little part. I need to see a little bit more or whatever. But it's just, like, just certain stuff people say. It's just like, do you not think before you speak? Or how you're going to make people feel, or how you may offend. But anywho, y'all comment down below. Give me more things that you guys would like to see me react to on this channel. Also, y'all, don't forget to thumbs up, like up this video. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and ring that bell, so when I drop a new video, you will know. You won't miss it, and you will be right here. Also, y'all, the original video will be linked in the description down below, just in case if you want to check it out on your own time. But as always, I appreciate you guys for coming through and coming to kick it with me. And until next time.